Good evening and welcome to our July edition of On Palais. Let's Talk workshops and webinars of 2024. Today marks the one-year anniversary of On Palais, and we want to thank you for your support. My name is Isabel, and I will be your presenter this evening. Before beginning, allow me to share with you the Origin Foundation's missions and core values. Origin Foundation mission aims to increase the level of education and participation of BIPOC communities in positive behaviors to fight the different layers of disparities affecting these communities. Our core values consist of authenticity, being true to ourselves and our originality, preservation, to give honor to knowledge that has been transmitted through generations, and conserving the important aspects that define cultures. Respect, we keep in high regard each other's contributions to our joint journeys, recognizing individuals' importance and value. Integrity, honesty mirrored through a moral compass that upholds our actions. And sharing, to occupy a collective space of love and to promote exchange and growth. Today, we have the honor of being educated by no other than Allison P. White, leading this important gathering information session. Holistic Harmony, Herbal and Holistic Strategies for Post-Menopause Wellness. Allison P. White is a Florida-based certified herbalist and holistic health and wellness professional whose healing practice centers Eastern medicine, natural remedies, and caring for the whole self. In 2014, Allison founded Naked and Natural, a plant-based skincare line that centers self-care, health, and love with vegan-friendly products and community-based workshop. Naked and Natural uses organic, natural ingredients packaged in eco-friendly materials to minimize harm to the environment and maximize the alignment that maximizes mind, body, and spirit. A compassionate and dedicated health professional, Allison uses her love for learning to explore the myriad of ways nature can be used to contribute to overall wellness. Allison earned a bachelor's degree in business management, as well as bachelor's degree in health science and a master's degree in oriental medicine. She interned at Tao of Well-Being in Bradenton, Florida, acupuncture and herbal therapies in St. Petersburg, Florida, and healthy body acupuncture in Venice, Florida. A professional in health and wellness for over a decade, she is a member of the American Herbalist Guide and holds a clinical herbalist certificate from Tradition Schools of Herbal Studies. Allison leverages her caring, generous spirit and her dedication to lifelong learning to expand her brand and contribute to her community through workshops and interactive presentations. She has shared her expertise and products at the Essence Festival and Herb Day, an annual showcase of holistic health professionals and services. Featured in Solo Magazine and a special guest felicitator for the Origin Foundation, Allison sustains deep ties to her community through partnerships with local entrepreneurs. Naked and Natural can be found at acupuncture and herbal therapies. Let us welcome Allison White.
Thank you, Isabel, for that introduction. I appreciate it. You're here with me on another Friday night, so thank you for being here with me and spending your Friday with me. I'm Allison, as Isabel was saying, the owner and operator of Naked and Natural Skincare and Plant-Based Medicines. So tonight, we're going to talk about strategies for post-menopausal wellness. But first, a disclaimer. This information is not a substitute for medical advice, so see your trusted clinician. I will also add that this is a time that many women feel lost and that their doctors brush off their concern during this transitional period. So with that being said, the information and knowledge is a good place to start. So the last presentation, this is the last and final presentation of my menopausal series. I've spoken about perimenopause, I've spoken about menopause, and today we're going to talk about post-menopause. But let's do a slight recap of what we talked about previously. Perimenopause means on or around menopause. And this usually happens between the ages of 35 and 50, and it lasts up to 10 years. However, more and more women are starting their perimenopause earlier and earlier. And my theory on this, that it has to do with endocrine or hormone disruptions. And this is what I think is the culprit for an early start. Endocrine disruptors are described as a chemical compound that interferes with the normal function of the endocrine and hormonal system, as well as the reproductive and other biological processes that it is regulated by. Now, let's go back to what is menopause. Menopause is defined as a natural decline in women's reproductive hormones. And this is where the eggs stop releasing, this is where ovaries stop releasing the eggs for fertilization. This is marked when a woman has gone 12 consecutive months without a menstrual cycle. So that's the definition of menopause. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about postmenopause. So postmenopause is marked as a decrease in level of circulating estrogen. Some symptoms carry over from menopause, and the symptoms could be reduced, but symptoms like hot flashes, irritability, mood swings, insomnia, dry vaginal canal, night sweats, difficult in concentration, mental confusion, stress and urge incontinence. So stress could be a issue with that. There's osteoporotic symptoms, there's depression, there's headaches. This is just to name a few. This is not what all women go through, but this is most of what women go through. So now that I've talked about that, I want to go back and talk a little bit about estrogen. There are 4 different types of estrogen, and I'll go over that. Men and women have estrogen in their bodies. It's just a matter of the levels. Women have more estrogen, men have less, but we both need estrogen for our bodies to work the way it needs to work. Now, estrogen dominates the female body like testosterone dominates the male body. Now, estrogen refers to the compound that makes women ovulate and become fertile. However, that is not all it does. It plays a major role in the body. Some of the function includes bone density, mood, eye health, muscle strength, energy production. That includes how your libido works, your brain function, just to name a few. And there are 4 different types of estrogen, as I mentioned before. There's E1 through 4, so estrogen 1 through estrogen 4. There's estrone, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, but it's estrone. It might be estrone. It's the primary form of estrogen that the body makes after menopause. E2, or estradiol, is the primary form of estrogen in the body during your reproductive years, and it is the most potent form of estrogen. Men have those first 2 as well. Now, the estriol, which is the primary form of estrogen during pregnancy, you see why men don't have that one? Yeah. And then there's estetrol, which happens during pregnancy, and this is what prevents ovulation. So now that we have talked about perimenopause and menopause, we're going to go over what postmenopause is all about. So some of the things that we're going to cover is what we can do to help mitigate postmenopause, because it is a very, like I said before, women get very unheard and unseen during this time. A lot of society, unfortunately, think because women have gone through menopause, their usefulness has gone, whether or not it's to have kids, or whether or not it's because, let's be real, dry vagina. Let's be real. So So whether or not it has to do with that, so they can't have children, their bodies are basically working against them for what it used to do. Society thinks that women should be put up to pasture and bring the younger in. So they're not seen by their doctors, they're not heard by their doctors, they're not heard by society. And some of the things that I want to talk about today are the things that you can do to help make this transitional period easier for you. So it may seem simple, but it's not easy. So we'll talk about food, we'll talk about exercise, vitamins, salves or creams. We'll talk about tincture. We'll even talk about therapy. That is a big thing, and a lot of people miss that piece. And we'll talk about what you can do on your day-to-day, in your day-to-day life that can help this transition be, if not the easiest thing in the world, then your body deals with it better. Your mood, your stress, all of that will deal with it better. Now, interestingly enough, is that because we got most of our estrogen from our ovaries during our childbearing age, we no longer, or we don't ovulate anymore. So where we get most of our estrogen is through our fat cells. That's why our body starts putting on weight during the time of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, because we get a lot of our hormones through our fat cells. Another way we get our hormones is actually through our adrenals. And the thing about getting your hormones through your adrenals is that when we are adrenal fatigue, like so many women in the world are, because we're running here, we're running there, we're doing so many different things. When we're adrenal fatigue, it can be somewhat dangerous to our health. So some of the things that can happen is like high stress can deplete your adrenal glands, and this can cause severe fatigue. And the fallout from that can result in excessive emotional sensitivity, poor sleep, loss of interest in sex, low libido. And since the adrenal glands produces sex hormones, that's where your low sex drive and your low libido will come from. So if you find that you are adrenal fatigue, it would be best to find the right adrenal or adaptogenic formula for you. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. I have some show and tell for you guys. So adaptogenic formula or tincture that is right for you. So you can find an herbalist, somebody that's a clinical herbalist that can put that together. But it's not just giving you something, it's talking about what the best fit is for you. So once you do that, that will absolutely help with what you're going on. Now, I want to talk about the difference between adrenal and adaptogenic formulas. So adrenal formula helps to build the health of your adrenal glands, while adaptogenic formula helps your body deal with stress. And how it does that is it helps with enhancing your stamina, helps your immunity, it helps reduce anxiety, and it also helps with your mental health. So getting the right formula for you really is beneficial. They can be interchangeable, but that depends on how they are formulated, because some adrenal formulas, will have some herbs and it will not have some herbs. So if it's formulated right for you, if the person that is making it makes it in a balanced way, it will be more beneficial for you. Now, um, the good thing about doing or getting an adaptogenic formula, adaptogens, you can get it in a simple tea form. Whether or not it's a holy basil tea, that's very adaptogenic, and it tastes so good. Or you can do a reishi tea. You can do reishi powder, taking it in pill forms. So there's many different ways that you can do it. But If you do it in a tea form, the great thing is if you have an adrenal formula, you can put a few dropperfuls in your tea and you're getting the best of both worlds. So that's something to think about. So that's on tinctures and adaptogen and adrenal formulas. Now, vitamins and food. This is where your diet, your post-menopause, this is some of the things that you want to add to your diet in regards to what you're going through with post-menopause. Wheat germ and wheat germ oil is an absolutely good source of vitamin E, and you want vitamin E. Mung bean is very, very cooling to your body. So if you are someone that's going through hot flashes, mung bean is something that is going to help with that. So you have mung bean and you have mung bean sprouts. String beans or green beans, black beans and black sesame seeds are really good for your kidneys, which your adrenal sits on top of your kidneys. So that's something that you're definitely going to want to add to your diet. You have kidney beans, you have millet, seaweed, barley, just to name a few things that you can easily find in the supermarket. If you can't find one, you can definitely find at least a few of them. And you have things like Whole Food and Sprouts and Abby. So you have so many different sources for holistic and whole foods that you don't necessarily have to worry that you can't get it in your typical supermarket. So these foods that I just named will help replenish your body's fluid or your yin fluid, as Chinese medicine states. Now, for excessive hot flashes, another thing that you can use is aloe vera. The thing about aloe vera that you have to be careful with is that if you are someone that is always cold or someone that has loose stool, don't use it because it will just make things a little bit worse. But you have choices. Now, the aloe vera for hot flashes has actually been traditionally used in India and South America. So it's been around for a really, really long time. And how you would use it is you would take about 2 teaspoons of the gel in a cup of warm water or cool water, depending on how you feel like taking it. So I would definitely recommend getting an aloe plant, cutting it open, blending it up and doing it that way. Because the great thing about getting the aloe plant is that you can actually freeze it. Once you get it, you can freeze it in batches. And this way you don't have to worry about it spoiling because you're not using it as fast as you can. But side note on aloe, it's also really good to help you go to the bathroom. So if you're someone with constipation and or difficulty going, you can cut off the sides, the little prickly side things at the side, and blend the whole aloe up. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you can just take the jelly, the meat out, and blend that. So now, the other thing about vitamin E, why it's so important, is that it helps to stimulate estrogen production, and it is definitely great in helping to reduce hot flashes. So if you're having hot flash issues, vitamin E, and I want to say it's vitamin E complex, where it's called tocopherol, where it has it has all, I think it's four. It's like gamma, it's vitamin A, it's vitamin C, it's vitamin E. It has all the vitamins in it. So if you can find that in pill form, that's the one that you want to take. If you can't find that, then vitamin E is good. If you're having issues with it's not working as fast, you can up the IUs of vitamin E and take about 300 IUs 3 times a day, or as your body tells you that you need to take it. Other vitamins that are really good is vitamin D. You can get it from the sun, but honestly, you would think that Floridians or me living in Florida will give me a good source of vitamin D, but we're not outside often enough. It is so freaking hot out there. So standing outside for long periods of time just to get your vitamin D, typically that doesn't work. So a good vitamin D supplement is great. Vitamin C, vitamin A. These are all great vitamins to add to your daily vitamin intake. Magnesium. Magnesium is so good for sleep. It is also so good for pooping. So, so good. So please, please, please add it. So I mentioned in Chinese medicine, it's called yin deficiency. And what that means is that your body starts to be depleted of your fluids. And once that happens, you start to get hot. And then when your body is heated up, I don't know how else to say it, but your poop dries up. And when that happens, it makes you constipated. So anything that can help you with sleep as well as your bowel movement, magnesium can definitely help with that. So taking it daily for a period of time will work well. Now with magnesium, you have a choice. You can do magnesium pills, or you can do magnesium spray. If you go to the store, or whether or not it's one of the health food stores, or order it online, you can do equal parts magnesium flakes and equal parts water, put it in a spray bottle and spray your feet, spray your belly, just give yourself a few spritz before you go to sleep, and that could help you sleep. The spray, from my understanding, works better. It absorbs better in the skin. The pills, sometimes it doesn't work fully because your digestive system, the acids in your belly really does a number on that. So getting the spray works better. So that's what I would recommend. Other thing that I would recommend is calcium-rich foods. That's where the osteoporotic issues come from. Like your bones start to break down and be brittle, maybe because of your diet, maybe because of your DNA, whatever the case is. Calcium-rich foods is something that I would absolutely add to my diet during this period of time in your life. You can get that from things like bone broth. Bone broth is really, really excellent because you're going to get the collagen from bone broth and you're going to get the calcium, especially if you make it right, which is if you have a slow cooker, it's low and slow in your slow cooker. And that's anywhere from like 48 to 72 hours. I know it sounds like a long time, but you want the bones to break down. If you don't want to go to the slow cooker route, you can actually use a pressure cooker. And that's another way. Pressure cooker will take you anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour to break down the things that need to be broken down and for you to get the collagen and collagen out of the bones. So I would definitely recommend that. Seeds like poppy seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, celery, leafy greens, beans, lentils, almonds, sardines, yogurt, cheese, and so on. I mention yogurt and cheese because there are, for Black people and Asian people, and of course the people who are lactose intolerant, cheese, yogurt may not be so good, but a trick to that is if you are lactose intolerant, for sure don't drink milk. You might be able to do yogurt, but maybe not as often as you'd like. So maybe yogurt a couple times a week, but hard cheeses are the best. Do not do soft cheese. So if you're lactose intolerant, things like cheddar cheese will help. I want to say Gouda is another cheese that is not going to be so hard on your digestive system. Feta, definitely feta. Feta cheese is another cheese that is really good, as well as goat cheese, if you're looking for something that is not going to upset your stomach. So those are the cheese that I would stick with in terms, but I would look it up. Any hard cheese, Parmesan cheese, not the stuff in the green container. You can get fresh Parmesan cheese in the, what do you call it? The cheese aisle with all the specialty goods. So you can get fresh Parmesan cheese, or depending on if you know there's a deli, you can get them to get you fresh Parmesan. So Parmesan, so any hard cheese is going to be a good cheese. No brie. Brie might be delicious. Nothing soft, because you're not doing yourself any favors. So from the calcium, let's jump right into royal jelly and honey. Royal jelly is a good thing to add to your diet. And royal jelly is actually what the bees, the queen bee eats. And when they eat that, they live, let's just say live, they live about 30 times longer than the worker bees do. So royal jelly is a good thing to add to your diet. It can help the body with the fluids, the tissue. It can help to improve your energy flow in your body. So I would recommend adding it to your honey, because if you've ever had royal jelly, anyone out there who's ever tried it, it's very interesting. It's got a very interesting taste. It's almost it's almost like a fermenty flavor on your tongue, and it's not something that a lot of people like. So adding some royal jelly to your honey would be a good idea, because it makes it more palatable and it makes it easier for you to ingest. But honey is also really, really good for returning your body fluids. So mixing honey and royal jelly is going to be your best bet. But also honey is really good for your digestive system as well as your immune system. So I would absolutely add honey to my diet. The other thing that I'm just going to touch on, I'm not going to go too much into it, is some women can do what's known as hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. It's a treatment used to reduce the symptom of menopause. It replaces the female hormones that's at a lower level, basically when you're going through menopause. So I would recommend, if you're going to do that, to see a hormone specialist. But you want to talk to them to see if it is going to be the right fit for you, because some of the side effects of that could be blood clots, could be stroke, ovarian cancer, as well as breast cancer has been linked to HRT. So be mindful, see if it's the right fit for you, and speak to a clinician to see if that's something that you're going to want to do. Now, the other thing too is, please, please, please limit these things. Coffee or caffeine, alcohol, and cigarettes. Seriously, cigarettes it has been linked to stroke. So it doesn't matter if you've smoked and then you stop smoking, if you don't put the right things back in your body to like balance or get rid of, these are some of the health concerns that you want to talk about. Alcohol is not good for women going through menopause. Why? Because it dries you out and it makes you hot. And if you're having hot flashes, no bueno, no. And of course, caffeine, it makes your heart race, also heating up your body. So being mindful of the amount of coffee that you intake. There's substitutes. There are, I guess people call it, what is that, mud water, mushroom water, or mushroom tea. There are things that, you can get your body used to. So substitute where you can is what I would recommend. Now, our favorite thing in the entire world is exercise. Holy crap, no one likes to do that. Me, I don't like to exercise. It is not fun for me. I did it because I had to. I do it now because I should get in at a certain age. But not everyone likes exercise like Natasha does. Yes, I said your name. So with exercise, you don't have to do anything strenuous. It could be as simple as walking every single day. Is it a stroll? Is it a fast walk? Just walk. If you want to do more, you can add walking and running and switch off if you'd like. There's yoga. I mean, there's so many, you don't have to go to a yoga studio. There's so many different tools and videos and chair yoga. YouTube is, the school of YouTube was called the school of YouTube for a reason. It is such a great resource. If you're not savvy with computers, you can get somebody to order you a yoga chart so you can basically see the exercises and see which one you can do and work your way up from there. Pilates is such a good workout. A lot of people think that it's, oh, Pilates is easy. It is not. It's almost like you're using your body as a resistant. And it's the most interesting thing. But when you've been doing it for a while and you start noticing muscle tone and muscle definition from literally just stretching, I would add Pilates to your exercise routine. Qigong is something else that I would recommend. It's a very soft flow. It's a very soft flowing exercise. So videos that you can watch will show you, but will also explain that Qigong helps with your mind because just like yoga, you have to tap in and pay attention to what you're doing. You can't, your mind can't wander because you have to make certain that you're doing the exercises right and your body is flowing. And it really does, depending on which one you do, it really does help with energy. Surprisingly enough, for as soft as you're going and as slow as you're going, when you're done, sometimes maybe you feel slightly overheated, even though it feels like you haven't done much. But Qigong is something that I would recommend. You have chair exercise, chair yoga. There's so many different things that you can do. Oh, and dancing. Let's not forget dancing. Whether or not it's putting on your favorite music and just dancing like you did in your youth, or finding a dance class, or finding a dance video online, dancing can be such fun. So adding that to your exercise routine will absolutely help get your body moving and going. Because what you want is you want your blood to flow. You want to get energy flowing through your body. When energy is flowing, your blood is flowing. When your blood is flowing, it's like your spleen makes your blood, your liver stores it, and your heart circulates it. And it circulates it through your entire body. So when it's going and flowing, it's like you feel better. You feel more energized, interestingly enough. So you definitely want to get that energy flowing and moving. And getting your body moving is a must when you're going through menopause. Weightlifting is another thing that is definitely good for osteoporosis and making certain that you have more bone density. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think how it works is like lifting weight will allow the marrow to flow out of your body, which will also strengthen your body as well. Or marrow and I want to say cerebral spinal fluid. So that's something that you want to do. Weightlifting does not have to be like the bodybuilders at the gym. You can get something like a 5 pound weight or a 1 pound weight for your feet when you go walking, and then work your way up to 5. You know, do the wrist weights, whatever it is, you start low and work your way up. And that is so, so beneficial. So that is a great, and Natasha is also a really, really great source for weights and exercise because she has her Saturday workshop in regards to like exercise. And because she's a nurse, because she's been certified, she will actually teach you the right way when it comes to weights. She will tell you one more until the cows come home. But between you and her, you'll work on knowing your limits. So I would definitely recommend hitting her up. She's a great resource for that. Your mental and emotional well-being. I cannot stress this enough. Therapy is so essential to your well-being that sometimes we don't realize that our head and our heart is at a disconnect. And sometimes we say logically, like, oh, something happened in my childhood, but I'm over it. Something happened, somebody's talking bad about me, but I'm over it. Whatever the case is, we like to say our logical minds have taken care of it. It has not. It absolutely has not. If you can't get your heart to line up with your head, if you can't forgive, if you can't deal with what is going on, the trauma that is going on, it is going to make this period of time so, so difficult for you. So I highly, highly, highly recommend going to therapy because it will help you heal that disconnect. And I promise you, I know a lot of people like to talk about uh, low vibration and high vibration and things like that. How I like to put it is, if your head and your heart is aligned and you are healed, it is going to change how people see you. Frequency for some people, if you want to use that word. So you are going to feel lighter when you go to therapy. You are going to feel better when you go to therapy because maybe what you needed to hear was that mouth to ear connection. When you think of a thing, sometimes you spiral and you spiral and spiral for weeks, days, months, years, and you don't say it out loud. But when you say it out loud, the act of hearing it does something. It changes it. It changes that thing that's been stuck in your head. And then you do one step further. You talk to somebody about it. You talk to a professional about it. And now that thing that's been stuck on your heart, that thing that you thought that you would never get over, or even that you did get over, you realize that, okay, I actually said it out loud. I don't feel ashamed about it anymore. I don't feel as if mm, I don't feel as if it's stuck here. And when you release that, it changes your frequency, which therefore changes the way people see you. So now what's happening is you're lighter, right? You are stepping lighter, you're smiling a little bit more. And in turn, the world is then going to reflect back at you. So you'll get more people either smiling at you, either talking to you, or giving you things, whatever. And it'll be so surprising, like, that's weird. I've always came to this coffee shop and not once did anyone ever give me free coffee. And now I have free coffee. That's the weirdest thing. Like, it starts with little things. Um, Little kids will smile at you or want to run up to you. Whatever the case is, when you start to heal, you'll notice people going by the wayside, but you'll notice other people coming in. And those people will reflect that period back to you. Just like the older people have reflected the state of where you are, the new people reflect that state of where you want to be and continue to grow. And you'll continue to want to heal. You'll continue to want to get stuff off your chest and move forward. So I would definitely recommend therapy, but not just therapy. Finding a community, finding your tribe. We are not an island. I am an introvert for all intents and purposes. Love being by myself. It is amazing. But I also like to interact with people. I also like to talk. When my social battery is drained, that's it for me. I'm done. But there are days when I need to interact. And I have my tribe for that. I have people that I can, when I'm happy or sad or what have you, I can pick up the phone and call. So you're not an island. And if you are an island, start building bridges one person at a time. You're on your little island, build a bridge that somebody can cross and get to you. You won't feel so alone. You will start to feel that, have that feeling of community, have that feeling that literally the thoughts that you're having, you're not the only person that's having those thoughts. And it will make you feel like you're not alone. Therefore, you're like, holy shit, there are people in the world like me. I thought I was the only weirdo dealing with this, whatever the case is, or build a tribe of weirdos. That's also great too. But building a tribe is the most important thing. So building your tribe, building bridges to that island, start doing that. And the thing about healing is that when you start healing, you'll start trusting yourself. So for the people who say, well, I don't like people. Yeah, because you didn't trust yourself. So how are you going to trust yourself to find those people that were going to treat you right? You probably attracted people that took advantage of you. So that's why you said you don't like people, or people that talk down to you, whatever the case is. But when you start healing, you start attracting tribes. And those tribes, for the most part, are great people. Now, am I saying trust everyone? Absolutely not. That's absolutely ridiculous. But when you're healing, your discernment will get better and you'll start attracting the right people for you. And if it's not people that's going to be in your life for a lifetime, at least people that's going to be in your life for a season. You need that. You absolutely need that. Hobbies. Now is the time for hobbies. Actually, before is the time for hobbies, but now is absolutely the time for hobbies. I don't care what it is. It could be crocheting, knitting, dancing. It does not matter what your hobby is. It matters that you are creating something. It matters that you continue to learn, because if your mind is stagnant, if your mind is still and all you do is watch TV, where are you going to be? You're going to think that your life is not worth living. But if you go out, you start learning new hobbies. Is it sewing? And then you could build a community of women. Oh, I've never done this before. I've never done this before. Now you have your best friend, and it's like, where's she been for the last 60 years? So it's like paying attention to hobbies. Animals are another thing that is so, so beneficial. Animals can help calm you and soothe you. Just the act of petting an animal, oh my goodness, it's scientifically been proven that it helps reduce your blood pressure and your stress levels. So getting animals, adopting a pet, whatever the case is, I would absolutely 100% add an animal. Heck, it doesn't have to be an animal that you pet. It could be a fish, but the act of watching that fish just swim around, sometimes you just zen out, especially if it's a beautiful fish. What are those ones that fight each other with the beautiful tails? Hmm? Beta fish, yes, beta fish, yes. So beta fishes are beautiful. Watching them swim or shark. Did you say shark? So beta fishes are beautiful, but the act of watching that fish swim around can zen you out and get your mind off of things that was absolutely stressing you. So I would definitely recommend animals, hobby, anything that can help your mental, emotional well-being. Now, earlier, I mentioned tinctures and creams that can help a woman during her menopausal period. So I am actually going to talk about a tincture, an adrenal tonic that is balanced and anyone can take it. So this tincture has red ginseng or ginseng hung. Um, it has white ginseng. So red ginseng is more warming, white ginseng is more cooling. So it balances each other out. But ginseng is really good for vitality and energy. So this formula has 3 different types of ginseng: red, white, and eleuthero or Siberian ginseng. And Siberian ginseng is really good in terms of opening your chest up. It's really good for vitality, but it helps you have longevity and stamina. So it has all three ginseng. It also has reishi mushrooms, which is such an amazing adaptogenic mushroom. Honestly, it's a must-have. Men and women really, really do well with uh, reishi mushroom. And last but not least is holy basil. Holy basil is, they call it holy basil because it was mainly in India. And it was considered holy because of the amazing effects that it has in helping your body adapt to stress, helping you feel good, helping you feel brighter and more alive. So finding an adrenal tonic with something similar or similar ingredients, that's something that you want. This is considered an elixir because it has both alcohol and apple cider vinegar with honey in it. So it is, I guarantee you, it is so pleasing on the tongue. So find something that is going to taste good, that is going to make you want to take it. If you don't want to take it directly, I would recommend whichever one you get, 2 to 3 dropperfuls 2 times a day. But if you don't want to take it directly like that, you can take it in teas. Like just put a few dropperfuls in whatever your favorite tea blend is for that particular day. So this is an amazing adrenal formula. My female balancing hormonal salve. So good. Why is it so good, you might ask? Because it has mimosa flower in it, and mimosa flower will help you get up to here. It's not going to make you high, but it's going to make you feel like you're high because it makes you feel so, so good. So this one, this hormonal balancing cream, it has Vitex or Chastry, which helps to balance the hormones. It has Dunk Quai, which is a Chinese herb. That is a blood tonic. So it helps get your blood circulating and moving, especially during post-menopause. You could be stagnant around your lower, we call it lower dantian or lower jiao in Chinese medicine. So this area could be very stagnant, and this is something that can help. There's Damiana. Damiana is good for stress. It's good for low energy, and it's also good for your libido. So there's Damiana. Oh, even though it's not something that you insert in terms of getting your vaginal canal moist, it will help with that because it helps with libido. It has the female balance, and it has the chastity, and it has the blood tonic. So the blood tonic is getting things moving and flowing. It has eleuthero in it. Again, the ginseng. So that is good for your adrenals, which again sits on top of your kidney. So rubbing it into your belly, your lower back, your bum, and your hips will help. Mimosa, which is good for poor memory, for stress, for insomnia, for depression. Mimosa is excellent for that. White peony for hot flashes, night sweats, and Bill's blood. You have wild yam that's in here. You have milk thistle that's in here, as well as shan yao, which is also a form of yam. And shan yao helps to nourish the lung, the kidney, and the spleen, as well as it benefits menopausal symptoms. So get a salve or a cream. Look at the ingredients, see if you trust the ingredients. If you know how to muscle test it, you can muscle test any product that you have that is going to help you see if it's the right thing for your body. And then if you come, what do you call the shop? If you, okay, sorry. My brain just did, I do. My brain just did like a moment of what? If you come to Southern, right, seriously, if you come to Southern Alchemy and Wellness, you have vaginal serums that's available to help you. And you have quite a few things that can help you going through your menopausal symptoms as well. So, in conclusion, you really need to take care of yourself during this time. You need to love on yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. Um, and if you're someone who's felt that no one's ever been kind to you, if you start being kind to yourself, whether or not it's knowing when to stop, I have a problem knowing when to stop. Whether or not it's allowing people to help you. Sorry, that is a big one. You have to allow people to help you. Me, have a problem with that, but I'm getting better. Allowing people to help you is so important to your mental well-being because you can't have it both ways. You can't say there's people, no one helps me and I'm all alone and I need help. And yet, so when the help comes, you're like, no, 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 I got it. Are you that person? Think about if that's you. So pay attention to how you treat yourself. Pay attention to how kind you are, to how loving you are. And whatever it is that you need to love yourself, do it. Okay, within reason, not too much alcohol, not too much caffeine, and definitely, what was the third one? Not cigarettes, exactly. Any tobacco products. So just pay attention to how you're loving yourself. It will make a difference. And that difference will translate out in the world and you'll see it reflect back to you. And that is all I have for you for postmenopause. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Allison. I am the owner and operator of Naked and Natural Skincare and plant-based medicine. If you have any questions, any concerns, and you'd like to get a hold of me, you can reach me at Allison at nakedandnatural.com. You can contact me through my website, nakedandnatural.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram if that is easier for you to do. Thank you. Any questions and concerns? Or better yet, any questions, period?
Do you like a rap? Too late. You should have opened that 10 hours ago. Like a really long time to go there.
No questions?
Allison, we do have questions from the chat.
Sure.
All right. So the first question is, during the postmenopause period, are the symptoms resolved? And do the women's hormones get to a level where women are now on cruise control?
It can be. It can be, but it does take a while. It's something that you have to actually work on. So during menopause, you're having the hot flash, the insomnia, all of that. That can translate after menopause because if your hormones are not balanced, it's going to continue to be imbalanced. So if you're not working on it actively and trying to get your menopause balanced and taken care of, it will carry over.
Thank you. We also have a question concerning having a hormonal panel or lab work done. Would it be a
Yes.
good idea if it seems like menopause has now transitioned to postmenopause? Would it be a good idea to have that panel or lab work done?
Yes, yes, it is definitely a good idea because then you can see where your hormones are. You can see what your body needs. Like I was talking about how you get a lot of your hormones from your fat cells and your adrenals. You want to see where things are so you know the things that you need to take. Do you need to take adrenal tonic for the next however long to balance you out? Do you need hormone balancing creams, like whatever it is that you need, getting that panel done will allow you to understand what's going on for you. And if your hormone doctor is a great one, they can let you know other options that you have for yourself as well.
Thanks. We have a couple more.
Okay.
For the adrenal tincture,
Mm-hmm.
should we take it forever or until everything is stabilized?
You can actually take it for as long as you like, because your adrenals, for the rest of your life, you can take it. You don't have to take it for the rest of your life, but this is where like muscle testing, or if not muscle testing, listening to your body. This is where that comes in, because there are times when you're probably going to need it for a while. And if you're taking it every day for the last 6 months and one day you woke up and you just didn't feel like taking it, it means your body is telling you that you don't need it today, or you may not need it for a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely listening to your body. Makes a
Okay.
lot of sense. Thanks a lot. And we have one more question.
Okay.
Can I buy these products? So I
Yeah.
shared your website, but could you share your contact info again?
No, definitely. It is not on the website as yet, but this is where email or messenger in me, because it's actually fairly new. So you can email me or message me, and I will go ahead and I can ship it to you and send it to you, whoever it is that would like to order it.
Could you tell us your email one more time?
Sure. My email address is Allison, that is ALLYSON, at naked, NAKED, NATURAL.com. Or if you don't want to do the email and it's easier for you to contact me via Instagram, you can contact me via Instagram, and it's at Naked and Natural via Instagram.
You can tell them that they also can come in for teas and for yoni steaming.
Yes, you can come to Soul Alchemy for teas and yoni steaming at Soul Alchemy, and the address is 4819 East Bush Boulevard.
And they can reach me through Instagram.
Okay. Suite 104, or you can reach through Instagram at Southern Alchemy Wellness. Hopefully you got all that, Lulu.
Everything except the street address.
4819 East Bush Boulevard, and it's Suite 104.
We're off of
Thanks a lot.
Well, if that is all for today, again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And join me again in 2 months when I give you another talk.